This is an MSNBC special. Brian Williams reports the Tony Blair interview.
I wouldn't dare to play name association with the Prime Minister, but let me throw out two names, and if you would please contrast how these two men who have played huge roles in your life as Prime Minister are different. How do Bill Clinton and George W. Bush differ fundamentally as men and as presidents to deal with?
They are completely different people, which anyone who knows both of them would immediately say. And my relationship with both of them has taken place in the context of completely different circumstances in a way. I mean, Bill Clinton is a masterful politician. I think he did an immense amount for America. It was great to work with, and I will remember particularly his contribution over Northern Ireland and Kosovo, where frankly he put himself out on a limb when he really didn't need to.
That's right.
And that was very, very
Good morning, Tony. How are you?
And obviously my relationship with President Bush has been of a different order and a different nature because it's September the 11th governed in a way. All I can say is, and I know, sometimes people kind of prod me and say, well, do you really think this? And the answer is I do. I've found him immensely straightforward to deal with, someone always true to his word, and someone who's a very strong leader. And I think the world needed this at this particular moment in time.
The merging of you two, perhaps, as leaders?
It's sometimes difficult for people to contemplate what it is like to be in a position of leadership when something fundamental happens, such as September the 11th. Everything alters, your entire perspective alters. Your analysis of what the job means and the responsibility it carries changes in a profound way. And I mean, it has obviously altered the whole of my term of office in a way that I would never have contemplated when I first walked in this building 10 years ago. And if you'd said to me then, well, you will be involved in 4 wars, and foreign policy will be a major part of your record as a Prime Minister, I would have been startled, shocked, probably even concerned. But that's the way it turns out. And when a major thing happens of such a fundamental nature, then you have to to take that into account and make the change in your thinking accordingly, and that's really what happened. And so the relationship, obviously, with President Bush has been tremendously affected by all of that. I think throughout, however, with both presidents, I've always thought the relationship with America was crucial to Britain and crucial to Europe, indeed.
There's a story that has made the rounds in Washington. Love to know if it's true that when the Bush administration started, you had a very candid talk with the new President Bush and said, Bill Clinton is my friend. He's going to remain my friend, and he will always have my support. And I hope, Mr. President, that that's going to be okay with you going forward. Is that true?
Something like that, yes. Because I thought it was as well to be open, and in any event, to be fair to him, to President Bush, he's not somebody who would respect you if you did anything else as well. So,
how did he take that?
Fine. I think he understood it completely, and also, he's somebody who likes to deal with people on a perfectly open basis. And I've remained a close friend of President Clinton's, and I'm proud to call him a friend. So I don't ever, but sometimes people say to me, "How can you go on with both President Clinton and President Bush?" And at one level, I'm inclined to say because actually it's the job of the British Prime Minister to get on with the American President. But truthfully, it's also because I have found in each of them, although completely different characters, things that I have both admired and respected and have liked working with.
What should Americans and Britons as well know about Tony Blair's faith? Is there anything you've yet to express publicly, and I know it's a private topic, that it would explain you more fully? What about it makes you go?
The difficulty here is that, our politics is different from yours. People talk about their religious faith in a more open way in America, and it's more part of the normal political parlance. It's not really in Britain, and therefore there's a reticence that I have about talking about it. I mean, my Christian faith is known, and it's there, it exists, and it's sort of daft to say it doesn't influence your actions or your thinking. Or my actions, my thinking, of course it does, but I don't like to go into it, really.
I understand. May I ask, have you ever discussed faith with President Bush? Has it been common ground in your discussions with him, especially when times were hard?
Not in that way, actually, no. And sometimes when people say, you know, I think there's a lot of nonsense talked about the degree to which President Bush or any other political leader, you know, that people get either an exaggerated or actually somewhat distorted view of what role their faith plays. I mean, of course, he's a man of faith himself, but that's private between him.